In my remaining time, Ms. Hakes, I want you mentioned the child advocacy centers. Not only are they indispensable in the prosecution of child exploitation and child sex abuse cases, at least in South Carolina, an alarming number of them are not even funded at the state level. So, would you agree with me that having someone particularly trained in prepping witnesses for trial is an indispensable aspect to your success as a prosecutor?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, absolutely 100%, indispensable.
All right, so we have the victim component where they are entitled to certain rights as the victim. You have the indispensability of the necessity of their testimony at trial, all of which is a law enforcement function, all of which is a state function. So why are the states and the counties not funding what is primarily a state crime?
Because they're cheap and kids don't vote. Unfortunately, I truly believe that. You've got, like I said, there are 795-ish certified by the National Children's Alliance child advocacy centers around the country, and the vast majority of them have to seek private funding to keep the doors open. There's no excuse for it. I don't understand the lawmakers in the states. The federal government gives some money to the National Children's Alliance, and they, in turn, dole a very small amount of money out to these centers, but they're seeing hundreds of thousands of kids every year, and I guarantee that's one of the reasons why kids recant, are incapable of testifying, don't get up on the witness stand. So that's why, even though you have a number of cases brought, they never lead to a conviction, because children need advocacy centers and a child-friendly process to go through this very difficult system, and they don't have it.
And you would agree with me that these are among the very toughest cases of all to prosecute. So you're either going to have a child as your star witness, or you're going to have a pediatrician, preferably highly trained in being able to detect indications of abuse. But I never once had DNA in an incest case or a child sex abuse case. It's a witness, and it's an expert, and it's maybe a forensic therapist. Oftentimes, all of them come out of the Children's Advocacy Center, and very little money is dedicated to that at the state and local level, and I find it astonishing. I'm out of time. I'll tell you what I would benefit from, based on your experience as a prosecutor. If there are investigatory, procedural, or evidentiary things that you think Congress should look at, for which we have jurisdiction, that would level the playing field for child victims. And I'm thinking about everything from the legality of allowing a child to testify behind a veil, where they don't get stared at by the perpetrator and 12 adults they've never met before. Any of that you have in your experience that has leveled the playing field for victims, I would greatly appreciate your sharing it with me, and I know my friends on both sides would as well. So,
yes, sir. Thank you.